Okay, you guys, I'm going to cut right to the chase. After this beatdown we took against the 49ers at Levi Stadium, everybody's going to be way overreacting to the moment that they're going to say that this team is a horrible team. This team sucks. This team is so horrible. This team is going to get beat in the playoffs and go one and done. Look, let's not overreact to the moment, you guys. This just was a flat out embarrassing performance by the offense, and the game planning was just not up to snuff tonight. The, we had no answers for the 49ers defense this game, and I'm definitely going to give a huge props to that 49ers defense, coached by Robert Saleh, who has definitely taken a group of talented players such as Nick Bosa, DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead, Richard Sherman, who was brought in from Seattle, and took this bunch of talented players and turned it into the defense that it is. Simple as that. Our offense had no answer for it. This fast, incredible defense, first ranked against the pass, by the way. It's the best against the pass, and tonight proved that they were the best against the pass. Simple as that. There just wasn't going to be any way that was going to be the case where we were going to see Aaron Rodgers throw the ball all over the lot, and we were just going to see lights out action from this offense. Let's be real. Let's be honest. The 49ers, you got to give respect to that defense. I sure do. I respect Robert Saleh. He's certainly done a great job for the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan, he's a good coach, really good offensive mind, given what he has to work with, and players coming in and out with injuries. Emmanuel Sanders wasn't healthy. George Kittle wasn't healthy coming into the game. Really good game plan all over by the 49ers. We just didn't do it. This team just wasn't ready for this buzzsaw of a team called the San Francisco 49ers, and I knew going into this game that we weren't going to win it, but I thought we would be pretty competitive and at least make it a decent game. I thought maybe we would probably lose by maybe 2 touchdowns, where maybe Aaron and the offense were going to be able to do some things like score a couple touchdowns, and I thought Aaron Jones would have a much better game than he did, but that was certainly not the case, and it was just an all-around ugly game for the offense. The offensive line was just completely taken to school by that great defensive line led by Nick Bosa and DeForest Buckner. I mean, just an incredibly outstanding defensive front that they have. Nothing was going to stop them. It certainly didn't help things that when Brian Bulaga went out with a knee injury, and Nick Bosa ate Alex Light's lunch, and there was just no answer for him, and just the 49ers just showed that's why they are a Super Bowl contender. And as far as the Packers go, we may not be a Super Bowl contender this season, you guys. We're a good team. We're still 8-3. We're still going to get to the playoffs. We're still going to make some hay in the playoffs, I believe. If we face an opponent that has to come to Green Bay, I believe we can win that game. But when it comes to facing like New Orleans and San Francisco at their stadiums, I don't know. Maybe it's a possibility we can see this team again, or to see this 49er team again, and we pull off a major upset, as that we will put together the game plan of the year and pull off the upset of the century. That's the simplicity of it all, is that we're a good team going up against a great 49er team. We got beat. Simple as that. We'll have to go back to the drawing board and figure things out. and go from there. But it is what it is. We can't beat every team, and that's just how it was going to go. This was going to be obviously going to be one of the tougher games, and we certainly met our match. I'm glad that we got this game out of the way. Then we can go on and face some easier opponents, like we got the Giants next week at MetLife, and then we got Washington at home. Then we got Chicago after that, and I believe we have to go back to Minnesota to play them at US Bank, which is yet going to be probably going to be the toughest matchup. And I think we're going to be pretty good. I think we can pull off some more wins here. I think our toughest one of course, will be at Minnesota. I think we're going to be still in pretty good shape. I think we could probably still look at a 12-4, 11-5 record come season's end, and we're going to see this team in the playoffs, and I believe we can make some noise. But as far as contending for the Super Bowl, I think it's the 49ers and the Saints. But that's just my opinion, but anything could happen. There could be a surprise team that could come out of the blue and shock the world and win the Super Bowl. I mean, ask the 2007 Giants. The 2007 Giants certainly were not expected to win the Super Bowl, and they pulled off arguably the greatest upset in the entire Super Bowl era. So it's not over. This team is still a good team at 8-3. This team was just really not ready for this. I'll just call it an outlier. Very much like the Chargers game. That was an outlier. The team just didn't flat out just did not show up. And at least this team sort of showed up. The defense came to play for the most part until it tired out because the offense was stagnant, and it really, really hurt that we couldn't get the ground game going with Aaron Jones, and that's what pretty much did this in. This offense is very much predicated around the running game and play action, and when your running game doesn't work, then that throws out your play action. Matt LaFleur did very little of anything to do to make adjustments to that and figure out ways for this offense to be able to make some quicker throws in order to make easier completions, to get first downs, just to be able to move the ball in some sort of way, even though you can't really run the football. And this just really goes back to Matt LaFleur and the offensive coaching. It just wasn't prepared for what Robert Saleh was going to throw at it. Simple as that. Anyway, I've said my piece. I've said what I needed to say on this game, this debacle of a game, and I'll get right to the game balls. And I am afraid that I don't have too many game balls to hand out this week. The only game balls I'm going to give are to two players, and the two game balls are going to go to one offensive player and one defensive player. The offensive player is Davante Adams. I thought he had a pretty decent game, despite not really being able to get open all that much because he had to go up against Richard Sherman. I mean, Richard Sherman is still Richard Sherman. I mean, he's not the Richard Sherman that he was in Seattle, but he's still a really, really good player, and he's certainly made a lot of plays this season for the 49ers this season, and simple as that. Davante's stat line was 7 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. Also, on top of that, he also scored the 2-point conversion for our 8 points against San Francisco's phenomenal number 1 defense. And the second game ball, I will give it to Zadarius Smith for his 1.5 sacks on the game and consistent pressure. And that nice little sack dance that he had, which was a nice little tribute to a woman named Eileen. So I'll just give it to him for that. And I almost would like to give it to the whole entire defense for being able to hold up pretty well up until the end. But I'll just give it to the one player. So it's Zadarius Smith, and he continues to be a very good player. on the Packers. A huge difference maker, really. And probably the team's defensive leader, if you don't count Tramon Williams, the ageless wonder. So that's going to do it for this video. I'll catch you guys later. Go Pack, go.